What's up, jabroni? Steven here, and I'm a bit late with my what we learned on Monday Night Raw this week. Pretty much, I didn't get to see Monday Night Raw until Wednesday, but I still wanted to give you guys my thoughts on what happened. And what we're gonna do today is I'm gonna give you guys a more condensed, shorter version of my thoughts from Monday Night Raw, and then next week, hopefully, we'll be back on schedule and I give you guys a longer version. But pretty much, I still wanted to give you guys my thoughts, so that's what this is. Same thing is gonna happen with SmackDown. Just couldn't watch it until a little bit later. So hopefully, you guys enjoy this. And as always, guys, make sure you guys like the video, comment, subscribe to the channel, and pretty much let's talk about what happened on Monday Night Raw.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, 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 money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar.
So after last week's amazing episode of Monday Night Raw, there was no way that Monday Night Raw was going to be able to live up to the hype, and in all honesty, it really didn't. It was still a solid to good show. I mean, it wasn't a bad show. It was pretty decent, pretty good. We started the show off with Sasha Banks coming out as the WWE Women's Champion, talking, saying all this great stuff. She's interrupted by Charlotte, who's interrupted by Jericho, who's interrupted by Enzo. They get into it. It's pretty funny, pretty good stuff. Enzo hits on Sasha. Jericho tells them to shut up, calls them stupid idiots, whatever. A mixed tag team match happens, and what ends up happening is that Charlotte and Jericho go over, and of course, trickery, cheating like they always do. And after the match, Jericho's beating up Enzo, and then Cast comes out. So what I took from this is that the WWE is testing the waters with Enzo and Cast as separate entities, and mistake. I tell you, pretty much, I'm worried that they're thinking maybe we could break these guys up and give them solo runs. We know that Vince McMahon loves big men, and Cass is 7 feet tall, and you can't teach that. And Enzo is great on the mic, but Enzo hasn't really been developed as a great fighter, so I'm worried. As for Charlotte and Sasha, we're gonna get an amazing match at SummerSlam, so that's happening. Now, as for Jericho, Enzo, and Cass, what I think is gonna happen is that Enzo and Cass are gonna go against Jericho and Kevin Owens at SummerSlam. That's what I'm predicting, just because of what happened later on in the show between Kevin Owens and Jericho, saying that he needs a partner to fight and all that other stuff. And I think that's gonna be a really good match. Enzo and Cass great on the mic together. Jericho and Kevin Owens amazing on the mic, and together they're funny as hell. So I think that's where that's going, and I'm pretty excited about that. SummerSlam's looking like a pretty stacked card right now. Also on the show, we had Braun Strowman and Nia Jax do exactly what they did last week. They beat up local talent. We got a little bit of backstory as to why the local talent is doing it. It turns out that they get $1,000 for doing the match. $5,000 if they win, which is a great amount of chump change there. Of course, this is all part of the show, but making Braun Strowman and Nia Jax look strong, beating up nobodies. I still want to see them move up, and they're both lacking on the mic, lacking in the ring. Both could have used extra time in NXT and extra time just doing other things, but this is what we have, and hopefully it works out for them. We had a pointless match between Golden Truth and the Shining Stars, which was an abysmal match to watch, not because of what's happening in the ring. All 4 members of these teams are really good fighters, but it's just pointless, meant nothing. R-Truth doing his little Pokemon Ghost thing still. The Shining Stars are just bad. Honestly, they're bad. Their gimmick is bad. I don't like their gimmick, and I'm Puerto Rican. I don't like their gimmick. I don't know. It's just one of those pointless matches that's not gonna start a feud or anything. So I just watched it and I was like, bad. Next, we had Seth Rollins and Finn Balor get in the ring and get into it, and just proving that Seth Rollins is killer on the mic. Amazing on the mic. Finn Balor held his own for the most part. He is pretty good on the mic, not great, but they were pretty good at together. They had a pretty good banter. They had a pretty good thing. They got into it at the end. Both of them kind of tried to hit each other, and it was pretty decent. I mean, I like this match. I'm really excited for this match. This match is probably going to be the most amazing match in SummerSlam history. That's how hyped I am for this match. But yeah, Finn Balor comes out. Seth Rollins comes out. They do their little banter back and forth. Seth Rollins amazing. That's what that was. Next, we had Mark Henry versus Rusev. Mark Henry said that he wanted to dish out the pain, and we thought maybe this was going to be a feud going forward. But nope. Rusev squashes Mark Henry, gets on the mic after the match, runs down America, and who comes out? Roman Reigns, looking a bit different. Got the black and red going. Comes out, doesn't speak, just stands in the middle of the ring. Looks at Rusev, runs him, like just kind of looks at him, puts like up his fists. Rusev is yelling because Rusev is doing what he does, and then the two kind of get into it, and this is the feud that we're going to have at SummerSlam. It's looking like, and I'm cool with it. Roman Reigns is now in the mid-card level where he should be right now, and he's going against Rusev. It might be a double face, like a double face heel turn. Roman turns heel, Rusev turns face. Could be what happens. I don't know. I'm not sure if they're going to put the belt on Roman, but it'd be interesting. Roman got booed like he always does, but maybe this will be fun, and it'll be an interesting thing for Roman to do, and Rusev is amazing, so it'll be good for him as well. Next, we had Titus versus Darren Young in a bit of a friendly match, and Titus ends up winning, but he ends up winning by cheating, which later shows that Backlund is upset at Titus for cheating. The two get into a verbal sparring match, and Titus threatens to beat up Backlund, and Darren Young comes out of nowhere, showing his anger, showing that nobody talks to his coach like that. And this, along with his battlegrounds, looking at his hands, I'm thinking that they're gonna turn maybe Darren Young heel and not Titus heel the way that everybody is probably assuming. I just feel that like Darren Young is going to be the man that goes too far. He has this anger that he can't control, and that might be pretty cool. But Darren Young and Titus are clearly going to have a decent match at SummerSlam. Might be a pre-show match, but it's perfect for them, and I think this is a really good feud right now. Former friends fighting, could be a lot of fun. Next, we had the New Day versus the Club in a non-title match, just fighting. The Club ends up losing, but they end up beating up the New Day. They get into it. Big E is in the back later, talking about an injury, so I'm not sure they're going to play that up into it and maybe have Kofi and Xavier defend the belts at SummerSlam, giving them a reason why they lose, maybe. I don't know, but I'm assuming that's going to be the Club versus the New Day for the belts, and I believe that the New Day is going to lose it. They've broken the record according to WWE, so it just makes a lot of sense. Next, we have Cesaro versus Sheamus, which is a match that Mick Foley made because the two were complaining so much about why they fell so far in the draft, and Mick Foley gave some proper points. He brought up Cesaro's injuries and said that he is an injury-prone man, and then he brought up Sheamus and the fact that he's been irrelevant for like the last 6 months. Great, like throwing into the draft and saying why they fell so like far down. I like that. It gives an explanation to that, even though it doesn't explain why so many NXT people didn't get picked up, but whatever. Cesaro versus Rusev happens. Cesaro goes over. Awesome. The winner was set to have a title match later on whenever they wanted, or a future title match. They were talking about the US title before, so I'm assuming that's what they were talking about, that it's a future US title. So if everything goes to plan, we got Roman versus Rusev at SummerSlam. Then that goes on maybe for a couple more months, and then maybe whoever wins that feud goes against maybe Cesaro for the US title and gives Cesaro an upper mid-carder, and it'll be fun. So hopefully that's what happens. Hopefully this means something. It was a decent match. Nobody liked Sheamus, so it was fine. Cesaro went over. Good. Then we had the Heath Slater segment, and I'm loving the Heath Slater segments. He's funny. He's using his charisma, which is what he's best at. He's on the mic. He gets into it back again. He brings a friend, and the friend is Jinder Mahal, who was a part of the three-man band a long time ago. And he's talking about that he wants to be here and that these two men deserve to be in the WWE and all this other stuff. Big Foley comes out, says that he'll give one of them a contract if they fight. Heath Slater saying, "We're the two-man band, baby, we don't fight." Jinder Mahal says no. He ends up like giving like a massive super kick to Heath Slater, pinning Heath Slater, and thus getting a contract for Raw, thus making Raw's roster even more stacked. Why wouldn't he go to SmackDown? Why wouldn't this little segment be on SmackDown? It made more sense. Made more sense. I hit the mic. I apologize. And the main event of the evening was Seth Rollins versus Sami Zayn in a amazing match. Amazing match. Absolutely love this match. Seth Rollins ends up going over and no cheating. I think he went pretty clean. My problem is that what's Sami gonna do and what's Kevin Owens gonna do? I believe they're gonna put Kevin Owens with Jericho, and that makes sense. But what's Sami gonna do? Sami's not fighting for anything, and that was my problem by putting him on SmackDown. He's just gonna be there and do nothing. He would be so amazing on SmackDown right now. If you put him on SmackDown, he'd be the guy fighting The Miz. It would have been amazing. It just made sense, WWE. Why would you do this? Sami's just there now, doing nothing. Nothing. It was a great match, but he's doing nothing. Nothing at SummerSlam. Seriously? Sami Zayn isn't at SummerSlam? Upsetting. The last thing that we had for the night was Brock Lesnar coming out with Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman giving killer promo, not mentioning the steroid or the cheating stuff. Fine. Just giving a killer promo. Brock just standing there doing his Brock thing. Heyman's giving his thing, saying he can say whatever he wants, and Randy Orton can't RKO anything, and out of nowhere, RKO out of nowhere. Randy Orton with an RKO. RKO out of nowhere. You guys know the deal. Randy Orton gave an RKO. Amazing, unexpected, was super fun. He runs into the crowd, gets into the crowd. It was amazing. Like, I am loving Randy Orton right now. Absolutely loving it. Loving Randy Orton, loving the Brock feud, making me excited to watch that match. Yes. Yes, 100 times yes. And pretty much, ladies and gentlemen, that is exactly what we learned on Monday Night Raw this week. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this little review. I know it was a lot faster, a lot more talking with speed. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. And as always, guys, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Be on the lookout for the SmackDown recap, what we learned coming soon. And I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.
Visions of sitting high on my own gold throne, never listening criticism. I built my